Hey guys, this is Allie Greenstone from Mary's Medicinals. I'm here with Chad Drew. This is Pot Talk on World Viral TV.
Do you know Rachel? What is going on? Welcome back to Pot Talk here on World Viral TV. Thanks for being with us. The room is finally filled up. My name is Chad, Bud Tender to the stars. Of course, we've got Grandpa Boots that just showed up. How'd the gig go?
Just showed up. It was great. I got to go play some tunes for some elementary school kids over in Green Mountain Elementary and talk about positivity and other things. And now I get to partake in my evening activities.
Have a Jane West joint, dude.
Yeah.
So thanks for having me back. And always here. Love to be here. Thanks.
Appreciate you being here. CT holding it down in the booth. On the couch tonight, we've got Miss Jane West hanging out with us, and our special guest tonight, Claudio. You just took over Weedguide, am I right?
Actually, I founded Weedguide.
Did you? Cool. Okay, cool. Hell yeah.
Weedguide.
Talk right into the mic, brother. There you go.
Found Weedguide about 16 months ago. Started working on the project, and we just launched in October.
Founder.
Yeah.
What makes you want to take over tech, dude?
So I come from a tech background, and actually I wanted to get into cannabis, but I was not really, didn't really have a path to do it. And a friend of mine who owned a dispensary and owned a farm started talking to me about some of the technical challenges related to finding products and information, law and legislation, all that kind of stuff, and the kind of the mess that was Google. And he's like, "Hey, can you build a search engine for cannabis?" And so I was like, "Yeah, let me give it a shot." And
cool,
so here
man.
we are.
As you say, have you ever tried to Google the word weed before?
Right? Yeah, exactly. Or a lot of the challenges that the industry faces is exactly that. They're like semantic challenges, weed, pot. What does Google give importance to? And it's really the non-colloquial versions of the word. And then the other challenges is Google's this massive entity, and I don't want to point out Google, but just finding any information on that's relevant to your search is really challenging. And so that's why we created this idea of this vertical cannabis search engine, kind of like the Google of ganja, if you will.
Well, and you said you got some cool tags already going. And,
yeah.
You guys
so we take the strain out of your search, right? So we basically put together all of the content that we find online. We categorize it under what we consider the 4 major categories of people involved in cannabis. Whether you're new to cannabis, I heard you guys talking about new, discovering what it is that you want to do with cannabis, and where to find it, how to consume it, to find Jane's products and things like that, whether you're into medicinal cannabis or recreational cannabis or you're in the cannabis business, everybody has some interest along those 4 lines, and we find the content, categorize it, and then drive you to the products or the websites and shows that host content.
So what methods do you use to seek content?
So it's actually a kind of a complicated thing, but at the root level, we look for those 4 different types of people. You're like new to cannabis, recreational, medicinal, or in the business. We find out what terms are important for them, whether those keywords, and then what websites are important, and then we learn from all of that stuff, and we start searching the internet for them. And so we have, I'm happy to say we're the largest repository of cannabis data in the world now. So we have 1.5 million articles indexed and categorized, and we have, I was telling Jane in the green room over there, 390,000 or more different products categorized by brand and price, and hundreds of thousands of businesses listed. And
I know if you search #PotTalk, we're up there.
Oh yeah,
I know that.
We're not up there. We're the only, we're the top.
I think we are, right?
There you go. Yeah.
So I have a question for you, because a lot of the stuff that got me involved in Pot Talk is the spiritual component. So using pot as a sacrament and using it as an acknowledgement of creation. So do you have a category for that type of user at this point?
Yeah, so it's interesting because you can fall that particular kind of subset can be applied to like recreational users, medicinal users. Like some people find spirituality through adversity, and some.
Well, I mean, it's a choice.
Yeah,
it's a choice.
Exactly. And so we do everything. We find everything from events. We have stuff about religion and spirituality.
Cool. Like that information is available. You're including that.
Yeah.
With everything.
So what's really important, I think, is this concept of democratic search. Right. We want people
Right.
to find everything.
Absolutely.
You know,
Yeah.
we want
Yeah.
people to find
Open.
products and services that differ from each other or are the same from each other.
Right.
We want, you were talking about doing reviews and comparisons, and we want to be able to surface all of this stuff. We want to surface counter opinions as well.
Yes.
You know, so and this is why we think that we serve the market better than a Google would, because the sites that are really kind of anti-cannabis are really given the most weight because they're linked to from the most authoritative sites.
Right.
There. So we're giving
Right.
everybody an equal voice, whether it's about spirituality or whether it's your products, whether it's grow light, whatever it is,
Well, the information's available, and I
yeah,
think
the information's available, and we, no pun intended, but weeding it all out, it's like
there's another
finding
one for you.
It's like
There's another tagline right there.
Hey,
Yeah.
weeding it out. Hey, yo.
Yep.
Hashtag weeding it out.
Weeding it out.
Yeah.
The thing is it's like right now it's like finding a needle in a haystack, and
Right.
we just
Yeah.
it's like
It's nice to have a centralized location.
Yeah.
I know that there's
Yeah,
a lot.
man.
That's one of the
Yeah.
things that separates you
Right.
from a lot of anybody else that's in that space.
and the other thing that separates us is that we're not creating any of the content ourselves. We're relying on people like Jane and yourselves to create the content, and we're just helping people discover it easier.
Right.
And that's brilliant because every single, let's say, revolution needs multiple wheels turning in order for it to be successful. And,
Right.
And we're basically just turning the wheels back to a time when things were accessible, and
Yeah.
getting cannabis back into the everyday lives so that people don't have such a negative taste when they think about it. Because really, we need it for balance. It's designed for human beings to consume for balance.
Right.
So making that accessible and making that wheel turn, it's an awesome role, and thank you for doing it.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
And it's great. It's great to have local people as your primary source of information, because the way legalization is occurring worldwide, it's dependent on where you are geographically and what the regulations are in that location of what products you
Absolutely.
even have to choose from
Yeah.
and what uptake systems are being offered. So it's more important than ever that they're getting direct information from a local source about those products.
Yeah,
That
I
is
think
the
that's
truth.
really absolutely that's key, and it's not only about products; it's about finding like-minded people, and that like-minded people could be like, I'm new, and where do I go to find out and learn about this? Well, I could I could watch this show right now, and I can learn from Jane about her products, and if there's like a rally going on, for cannabis, or if there's a group meeting because they're suffering from PTSD,
And that's great because Eventbrite is shutting down cannabis events
Right.
now. And
Are they really?
And, yeah,
I didn't
they
hear
are.
about that.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's a
that's
bummer.
new because we used
And it's a really
Eventbrite as a
effective
service.
platform.
Yes, it's
well,
also
remind
like-
me to circle
yeah.
back on that after the show because
Yeah.
I have another one.
Yeah,
Another
there's
platform.
yeah.
I have
Alright, good.
actually, it's not a shameless plug, it's for somebody else, but so I'm from San Diego, and we have an incubator there for cannabis companies, and one of the companies
Cool.
is called Event High,
Oh,
and
cool.
they are actually the Eventbrite for cannabis. They haven't launched yet, but
Working on it.
you should keep an eye
Cool.
out for them. It's eventhigh.io, I think.
Cool.
So hopefully-
And that's a difficult balance in being in that part of the tech industry, to the monetization versus the staying true to the spirit of the Lady of Cannabis has got to be a fine line in what you're going through. How do you make sure? Because I mean, there's been rumors in even like cannabis cups and competitions that sometimes they're rigged, and sometimes the people that are buying into it are the ones that win it and stuff. And being able to put that out there for everybody to be able to check out, you kind of really have to have a fine balance with that.
Yeah, so I'm approaching my 50th turn around the sun here.
Right on.
Quickly here.
Congratulations.
So there's one word that I like to use that I've learned that I think it's the guiding principle in my life is authenticity.
There you go.
Which you want to be authentic in everything that you do, whether it's your work life, your professional life. And so I think it would be a disservice to not serve the market in the way that it deserves to be served. So I mean, find everything, display everything, pay the price if you have to, but
Right.
make sure that it's available. I think companies like Eventbrite, and some of these larger companies, they're beholden to shareholders rather
They
than
are.
ideas and
Right.
ethos.
And shareholders
And,
come from a particular demographic
Yeah.
most of the time, and that demographic is resistant.
Yeah, and I think that at the end of the day, I look at my shareholders as the community, right?
But that's
and
it,
so,
right?
And so
Yeah.
the reality is our product is free for consumers. It's free for businesses, and it's always going to be free, you know. And so I'm not beholden to anybody, you know, but by myself. Yeah.
Well, hopefully some of the recent changes in who can and can't invest in companies, and these companies are going to start coming out in 2018 that allow access to investment, that will host cannabis companies on their platforms.
Yeah.
That's definitely might help to really change that from the very base and have the people that are truly investing in your company believe in what you're building and what you're doing.
And it's interesting that you're from California with everything that's been going on with the legalization of it here coming up, and how they're kind of almost trying to monopolize it in lots of ways, and
really not. They're overreaching in so many different ways.
Right. And I think that's the danger, is you take something that's so pure and means something to so many people, and then you commercialize it, you lose the spirit of it, and then you also lose, you know, the people that have helped to build the industry and are the industry, and represent the spirit of the industry. So, you know, like I said, I think the challenge, finding anything is the little guy, whether they're building little widgets or toys or whatever. You know, the guys from Toys R Us are going to win that battle on Google. And
but do you think that don't you feel the shift happening?
Okay, the shift is happening, but the problem is with limited licensing programs in states, they're already going in as a monopoly structure. But that's just why Colorado is so amazing. With criteria-based unlimited licensing, we were able to have thousands of small businesses spring up, throw their hat in the ring, see if they can build their businesses. Like, I was up in the mountains at Agati. They have 4 locations. It's family owned and operated. And like, that's what we see in Colorado. That to me is like the closest system to like actual like supporting small businesses.
Yeah, and so to that point, ours is a digital version of that. So we want to give the person that has a tiny boutique grow operation, or they have a tiny brand that they're starting out, we want to give them as big a voice as the biggest brands, because they're the ones that need the voice the most, right?
And they're the ones that have the product that's connected to the love. And especially in this industry, like, that's really important. You know, the marijuana is so absorbent that whatever stimulus it gets while it's growing, is going to be a part of what we experience. So.
And the way that California handled medical, as opposed to how Colorado got a chance to handle medical, and we really used our medical to springboard ourselves.
Absolutely,
you guys have had a lot of issues to tackle.
Yeah, California is definitely there's a huge challenge there, and Jane and I were actually talking about it outside. I come from a relatively conservative part of California, which is San Diego, and so there's a lot of resistance there, and now what you see in terms of the new legislation would appear to be a compromise, but it's really not. It's actually compromising what I think is the entire industry by some of the regulations. So.
Well, we'll see how it plays out, right?
Yeah, dude.
Colorado is the size of San Diego and LA combined. Same population.
And we've had some success, and you can see it here on the couch today. I mean, there's people that are intelligent from multiple walks of life that say, we're not going for a gold mine. We're going to spread the word about this medicine that was taken from us. And we want to do so in an objective way, and we want to do so in a way where it's accessible to everyone. And we love it. So, I mean, I know that we've got to talk about some other stuff. Like, can both of you stick around? And we're going to talk about more
segments. Some weed diary. Let's maybe do some product reviews.
Do some product reviews. And we just appreciate you for tuning in. And thank you.
Thank you guys for being here. We'll be right back. Stay tuned.